Every man has heard the same lie. You can't understand women because you're not a woman. This convenient illusion keeps millions of men confused, frustrated, and walking on eggshells. But the truth is brutally simple. You don't need to feel what a woman feels to understand what she wants. In fact, trying to empathize with her emotions is the worst possible strategy. Understanding women isn't about shared experience, emotional connection, or empathy. It's about one thing: observation, clear, objective analysis of her behavior. Because while her words may confuse you, her behavior never lies. Watch what she does, not what she says. Look at who she chooses, not what she claims to value. What women pursue, stay with, and reward tells you far more than any emotional conversation ever could. Men assume that because they can't directly feel female emotions, they can't understand female psychology. But this belief is not only false, it's destructive. You don't need to experience cancer to treat it. You don't need to be struck by lightning to forecast storms. And you don't need to be a woman to understand female behavior. Observation and pattern recognition, not emotion, lead to understanding. The surgeon doesn't need to feel your pain to operate on your heart. Likewise, a man grounded in observation often understands women better than they understand themselves. Not because he's smarter, because he's outside the emotional fog. Why women can't explain what they want. Most women can't articulate what actually drives their desires. Not because they're lying, but because they're trapped inside their emotions. The eye can't see itself. The mind can't fully observe its own programming. So when a woman says she wants kindness, stability, and emotional safety, she means it. But if you look at her dating history, you'll often see a very different story. She says she wants communication, but withdraws from men who open up. She says she wants kindness, but stays with the man who disrespects her. She says she wants security, but chooses men who create drama and chaos. That's not dishonesty. That's unconscious programming overriding conscious desire. Biology versus belief, the real motivator. Female attraction is not governed by her conscious mind. It's shaped by millions of years of evolutionary programming. She may believe she wants emotional availability, but her biology craves strength, mystery, and challenge. She may say she wants predictability, but her nervous system interprets stability as weakness. She may claim to want constant affection, but too much availability lowers your perceived value. This isn't manipulation, it's instinct. Women are attracted to behaviors that signal dominance, self-respect, and independence, because those traits once ensured survival. These instincts remain, even if modern life no longer requires them. How most men get it wrong. When you listen to what she says and ignore what she does, you fall into the same trap most men do. She says she wants better communication. You open up emotionally, she pulls away. She says she wants to feel cherished. You prioritize her needs, she loses interest. She says she wants more romance, you go all in. She gets bored. Why? Because these moves signal that you're responding to her emotional pressure rather than standing in your masculine center. She's not consciously trying to control you. She's testing whether you can't be controlled. What creates attraction isn't submission to her feelings. It's resistance to emotional manipulation and commitment to your own grounded principles. The masculine advantage, observation over emotion. Men who operate from emotional response become emotionally reactive, confused, and eventually disrespected. Men who observe behavior become grounded, respected, and desired. The woman who pressures you emotionally feels safer when you maintain your boundary, not when you surrender to her demands. The woman who challenges your decisions feels more attracted when you stand firm, not when you change course to please her. The woman who complains of distance often feels more drawn when you maintain your space, not when you flood her with attention. This is the paradox. Women feel more emotionally fulfilled when you don't cater to their emotional fluctuations. Why traditional dating advice fails. Most dating advice teaches emotional accommodation. Just be yourself. Treat her like a queen. Communicate more. These sound good because they reflect what women say they want. But when men follow this advice, they become less attractive. Why? Because they're optimizing for stated preference, not biological response. The result: women unconsciously lose interest in the very men who try the hardest to please them. Behavioral mastery is a superpower. The man who learns to watch behavior instead of chasing approval becomes immune to emotional manipulation. He doesn't panic when she says she's unhappy. He observes her actions. He doesn't jump through hoops to fix her feelings. He stays grounded and steady. He doesn't seek validation, he commands respect. This doesn't mean cruelty, it means clarity. You care for her, but you don't obey her emotions. How to read the truth. Pay attention to what she does when no one is watching. Who does she respond to on social media? What kind of content captures her attention? Who gets her time, energy, and investment? Words are a mask. Feelings are a storm. But behavior is data, and data doesn't lie. the deep patterns across all contexts. You'll find this principle everywhere. The colleague who values fairness but competes with other women. The friend who preaches sisterhood but undermines behind closed doors. The mother who claims to prioritize family but spends more time online than with her kids. These contradictions aren't hypocrisy. They're the unconscious surfacing through behavior. And when you can see it, you can predict it. The evolutionary code. Why do women choose emotionally unavailable men? Because unavailability signals value. Why do they reject stability? Because their instincts associate it with weakness. Why do they stay in drama-filled relationships? Because their nervous system is addicted to challenge. These patterns are ancient. They're not her fault. And they're not personal. They're just the way her biology is wired. The choice you must make. You can keep reacting to her feelings, trying to fix, please, and accommodate. Or you can step back, observe her behavior, and lead from clarity. One path leads to confusion, emotional exhaustion, and resentment. The other leads to respect, attraction, and lasting influence. Choose observation. Choose detachment from emotional chaos. Choose strategic understanding over reactive response. Because once you learn to see what women actually want, not what they say, they'll feel more attracted to you, more secure with you, and more respectful of your leadership. And more importantly, you'll stop being manipulated by emotions that were never meant to lead you.